Tonight, we found out how WSU became established as a leader in serving developmentally disabled students.
We'll learn about how highway construction may add extra traffic for the next 3 home football games.
And we'll see how Pullman's business population continues to grow. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Guillermo Mota.
And I'm Alex Clark. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
After WSU announced budget cuts last year, WSU stage saw one of the largest cuts university-wide. Taylor Swanson joins us outside the new home stage in the lower level of the Compton Union building. Taylor?
After last spring's final performance by Stage, all signs pointed to the end of performing arts at WSU. During the past few months, Stage has taken responsibility and effort to find new ways to exist on the campus of WSU without actually using performing arts. After the cuts, Stage had no access to prior facilities, no advisors, and no guarantee on how much longer they would have the 3 rooms they priorly occupied in Daggy Hall. Stage now works with student involvement and sits under stand-in advisor and director of student involvement, Brian Shuffield. Once student involvement fills the position of arts and programming director, Stage will move forward with a new advisor.
And Stage Student Theater in the past has gotten a lot of grants from different places on campus and other outside campus sources for arts on campuses. Currently, we get most of our funding through our NetHouse shows.
Washington State University Responsibility and Opportunity Advocacy and Respect program welcomes its inaugural cohort for 5 students this month. The program offers students with intellectual or developmental disabilities individualized programs in study, education, social skills, and vocational training. The program, also known as ROAR, establishes WSU as a leader in serving developmentally disabled students. The program ranks 7th in the country. The Washington State Department of Transportation announced today that State Route 26 will close for repairs later this month, instead of its originally scheduled time in 2019. The repairs aims to replace the bridge deck, which has deteriorated faster than expected and requires immediate attention. The closure will affect 17.5 miles of road east of Othello. The road closures will begin October 15th and will finish by Thanksgiving. The detour around the construction will add an additional 32 miles, which could make up for increased traffic for the next 3 home football games.
And talking about construction, here the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport continues the runway realignment, and airport may add flights to Denver. The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport Board applied for a grant to study Colorado markets, and after they received the final funding realignment, Airport Executive Director Tony Bean said the board would fund a market survey of up to $15,000 as they prepare to apply for an air service development grant through the U.S. Department of Transportation started recently. The airport also looked at doing a market study for Salt Lake City and Minneapolis, Minnesota. United States Education Secretary Betsy DeVos reconsiders new guidelines regarding how universities and colleges deal with sexual assault allegations. This follows the recent Senate testimony of sexual assault by Christine Blasey Ford against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. DeVos wants to drastically change the way higher education institutions handle these types of allegations. She argued that the current policies in place by former President Barack Obama unfairly skewed against the accuser. In light of the recent sexual misconduct and resignation of WSU's Assistant Athletic Director Jason Gesser, DeVos' new policies may change how WSU handles situations like these in the future. WSU released its annual security and fire report Monday. The report included information on reporting crimes on campus, as well as crime statistics from 2015, 2016, and 2017. The report also includes statements from President Kirk Schulz and other WSU officials on campus safety. Schulz said, quote, "The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff are among Washington State University's highest priorities to nurture a safe campus climate. We have made two major commitments, one to planning and another to engaging the entire Cougar family in safety initiatives statewide.
A well-known piece of Pullman's history finds a new home beginning today. The Pullman Depot Heritage Center declared the downtown Pullman locomotive as surplus. The Heritage Center donated the historic Northern Pacific Depot to the Inland Northwest Rail Museum in Reardon. The local committee plans on later restoring the train. The Northern Pacific Depot came to Pullman in 2008.
The old Pullman Building Supply will soon become a new spot for 6 different cuisines, 2 bars, a children's corner, and arcade for Pullman residents. Co-owner Greg Petrie recently had the space rezoned to meet code standards. Each cuisine served out of renovated shipping containers comes from the Port of Tacoma. The space will open this month.
That means we're getting hot dogs, right? More hot dogs?
Potentially more hot dogs, man. Always room for more hot dogs.
That's always a good time. When we come back, an update on the Kavanaugh investigation.
And Mike Pence visiting Spokane to support a congressional candidate when Murrow News 8 continues.
You down for some hot dogs? Here it is.
The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Matthew Sutherland, a WSU grad student currently running for the 9th Legislative District, said he wants to empower young individuals like himself in a system where they otherwise may not have much of a voice.
One of the things that we provide is an outlet for people to have an actual voice. One of the reasons why I'm running is because I want to help empower young individuals, young folk, to actually have a say in a system where they're often left out of.
Election day for midterms takes place on November 6th. Voters will select candidates for congressional, state, and local elections. Remember to register in the district that corresponds with your permanent address. Voter registration ends Monday, October 8th.
The Kathy McMorris Rogers camp looked to add a little momentum to their campaign by bringing Vice President Mike Pence to a luncheon in Spokane earlier this afternoon. Rogers runs against Democratic opponent Lisa Brown for the 5th Congressional District seat in Washington, and polls have shown that the race between the two has gotten close between the two candidates. This appearance by Mike Pence will mark the first time a sitting vice president made their way to Spokane since Dick Cheney visited the Fairchild Air Force Base in 2006. Protesters against Pence have already shown their displeasure by bringing a giant balloon in the shape of a baby version of President Donald Trump to the event. Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh now awaits an FBI investigation before his confirmation vote takes place. The floor demands that the investigation must conclude this Friday. According to GOP leader Mitch McConnell, the procedural process would need to start immediately for Kavanaugh's confirmation to take place this week.
You could be somebody that was perfect your entire life, and somebody could accuse you of something. Doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, as everybody says, but somebody could accuse you of something, and you're automatically guilty. But in this
of a tie, Vice President Mike Pence would cast the tie-breaking vote. Pence, no stranger to tie-breaking votes, could hold the record for the most tie-breaking votes ever if he goes the full 8 years.
Federal authorities began investigating 2 letters sent to the Pentagon officials Monday believed they contained poison ricin. The letters addressed to the Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and Chief of Naval Operations Admiral John M. Richardson. The Pentagon Force Protection Agency detected a suspicious substance at the mail facility and quarantined the building. Pentagon spokesman Colonel Robert Manning said the FBI took possession of the packages this morning and FBI would conduct additional tests. As of right now, Manning says there is no threat to the Pentagon personnel. Today's weather really started to feel like fall.
It sure did. When we come back, Bradley Warren will tell us if this crisp fall weather is here for good. Stay tuned.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you feel the sun?
It's really starting to feel cold out there. Bradley, should I buy more jackets for this fall season?
Well, gee, I do think it's time to start investing in more jackets if you have not yet already. Today's temperatures were in the upper to a low 60s, but we did not hit that 70s mark. Today, we're going to see the evening temperatures around 42. So if you don't have that blanket out, if you don't have your space heater, it's definitely time to do that. We're going to take a quick look right now at the statewide map. Let's go in on that over here, waiting for that to pull up. All right, Yakima, 73 degrees. 61 over in Seattle and 61 in Olympia. We saw 67 in Pullman and 67 again up in Spokane for the vice president's visit. We have also reports of a brush fire along Pullman and Spokane over by Cheney, so that's a great indicator that fire season is not yet over. Let's take a quick look at the 5-day. 65 tomorrow morning, 69 in the afternoon, and 44 in the evening. Like I said, you're going to want to get that blanket out. That 5-day forecast, let's take a quick look at that. The temperatures remaining pretty low into the 60s throughout the week. Your weekend is going to be a little cold. Definitely lowest temperatures on Friday. G?
Definitely going to buy more jackets. Thank you, Bradley. Who says that cats and dogs don't get along? When we come back, we'll see how one of the men's best friends came to support the Cougars during the last game.
Tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
So about the the Dash Dog again coming for the homecoming weekend, definitely was a fun sight to go and see. Such a fun pupper to be around.
I heard like some hot dogs, so would you like some hot dogs later?
The dog had a hot dog.
Right?
Are we going to get hot dogs tonight, G?
We should buy hot dogs after this.
Up.
Let's get hot dogs. Thank you for watching tonight. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great evening. And don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Good night, Pullman. Thanks for joining us.
Always a good time being here at the desk.
Always great. The hot dogs. Do you want to go right now afterwards?
I'm down to go with you guys. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's go get
Alex,
some.